Hey, what's up, everybody? How you guys doing?
Hi. Welcome to the Wild Wild West podcast. This is Richie Richey of the MHRT Network. Over that way is a very anxious Nabman representing his Las Vegas Raiders. And we have Jack Kenna down below, also representing the Las Vegas Raiders. Obviously, with much news coming out with a bunch of head coaching vacancies no longer being vacant, and the Raiders still in the hunt and or in the interview process there. Although there is some news on that front as well, very recently, like within a couple hours ago. It's looking very interesting for the Las Vegas Raiders. And unfortunately, you may note that DZ is not here today. I would like in the chat every single one of you
Happy birthday.
go ahead and reach out and say happy birthday to DZ, who is not with us today. But I want to see a stream of comments here, and we will have him check out the show on the onset. Let's wish DZ a happy birthday from everyone in the chat.
Happy 72nd birthday.
Oh, you took the words out of my mouth. I was going to say 82nd. Happy birthday, DZ.
Oh.
Awesome. So, DZ, I'll let you figure out what you want to do with that one. But anywho,
No kidding.
we got a great show for you tonight. Lots to talk about. Broncos still in the playoffs after the victory against the Bills, but the NFL playoffs and the Bills playoff game at that is nothing without at least a little bit of controversy. And people might be a little bit surprised on my general takes on some stuff there, but we will get into that a little bit later. Let's first dive right in to the Raiders and your coaching search, guys. What do you got to say?
Well, it's kind of a little bit of a stall because so second interviews we have set up, they're in-person interviews, is Jesse Minter. That's a in-person one. Well, there was going to be Jeff Hafley was going to be one, but it sounds to me like he's going to be hired elsewhere to the Ravens. And then another one is Evero. Evero, the defensive coordinator from the Panthers, are scheduled second interviews. Now, I think we were the first team to interview Kubiak in the Biden. Pretty much untouchable until the Seahawks in their season, however they ended. I don't see Kubiak doing anything other than I'll keep it in consideration until the season's over for their team. Chris Shula being the same thing, right?
Yeah.
They're touchable. Now, to be honest with you, reality is legally, Monday, anybody can be reached out to without any tampering. But that
Monday, I thought it had to be over like at
no.
the Super Bowl.
They can do Zoom and all this stuff, but in-person interviews, if
Not
they're
in
still
person. Okay, then that makes sense.
you can't do that. That's tampering. So I personally believe the number one target for the Raiders is Kubiak.
Agreed. And that's almost a given. And you look at Kubiak, what he's done with, guys like Derek Carr and other quarterbacks. I think the Raiders are totally 100% looking at getting an offensive-minded head coach, especially when you have the number one pick in the draft and getting Mendoza. It almost doesn't even make sense to go to a defensive coordinator and then hope to try to get a good offensive coordinator to join the team. So I agree. I think Kubiak's the number one. And there's been so many, interviews for the Raiders, and just kind of the recap of like who's already been hired, because it's always going to be like a domino effect, right? So Harbaugh to the Giants, to Stefanski to the Falcons, Hafley to Dolphins, Saleh with the Titans. So those guys are all off the board now.
Well, Jack, I love what you just said there. All these coaches that have been hired, the Raiders didn't even freaking interview them.
Nope.
So just Saleh, no interview. Right? None of them have been interviewed. So that tells me they're a target.
Well, Stefanski.
And it's only and Stefanski. What I'm saying is that, well, interviewed is what it is. But I don't think they were looking for head coaches. When they're fired, they should go back to offensive or their coordinator jobs and then work themselves back. John Harbaugh, different kind of. To me, him and Tomlin were the only two that were natural head coach hires throughout the NFL. Stefanski, not necessarily. You know, but it is what it is there. Harbaugh to the Giants is a huge that's big for the Giants. For me, having a freaking iron-fisted dude there, that's going to be great for the Giants. Cowboys and Eagles, beware on that stuff because the Giants team is not bad. They have a lot of heavy duty. Their defense is immaculate.
Yeah, the defensive line looks great.
Yeah, and the thing is, they have a quarterback that, as long as he learns how to protect himself, he will be a good quarterback in the NFL. Is he going to be a Lamar Jackson? Is he going to be a NFL MVP? I don't think so. But what it comes down to is this: all of this waiting tells me,
right,
that Kubiak is who we're looking for.
Absolutely.
And David,
you took the words out of my mouth there now.
And then Davis Webb as an OC, because as a offensive assistant, it's not typical as an offensive assistant to go from one team to head coach to another team. It can happen within your own organization, but mostly it doesn't happen that way. There's a method. You have to prove yourself as a coordinator before you can be a head coach. So Davis Webb will have to prove himself, but I like that tandem. And then the next part of it would be, I have no problem with Rob Leonard being promoted to DC.
Neither.
But that's going to depend on who we hire as head coach. So we're still in a little bit of a until the head coach is secured. We just don't know with the coordinators, to be perfectly honest with you.
Right. Well, look at who they've interviewed. Am I echoing for you guys?
Yes, you are.
Just a little. Yeah.
I'm going to hop back in. I'll be right back.
Okay. All right. So to me, in a perfect world, Kubiak, head coach, Davis Webb, offensive coordinator, which means Kubiak can kind of guide him in that direction. You know what I mean? And then as DC, our own born and bred Rob Leonard, who's been just sitting over there watching stupid shit happen with Patrick Graham. So I don't think Rob Leonard, you give him that position, I don't think he's going to back down to anyone, Spy Tech or the head coach, when he says this is the way we need to run the defense. And the problem the Raiders have had for many, many years is the head coach has gone and said, nope, I'm an offensive coordinator. Yeah. I'm an offensive-minded head coach. However, I'm going to tell you what defense you're running every single week.
Yeah.
That shit needs to go away.
Absolutely needs to go away. You look at last year with Pete Carroll's outdated cover 3 and Patrick Graham is a 4-2-5 guy. And we're playing that old outdated coverage, which is easy to dissect. And even with that being said, and going cheap on the defense, I mean, literally, it's like for charging and Coupon Tom. Well, we had Coupon Spy Tech last year, and we lost a lot of good players. And we replaced them guys with almost minimum contracts. So sorry, I was echoing, guys, and I just want to give a shout out to Endo Music, Jack G, Tano, Sacktown, Hell Raider, and Paul. Salute, brothers. Good to see you here. Oh, and guys, thank you for being here. This is going to be my final show of doing this, every single week. So I appreciate you guys, hopping in here and giving your 2 cents in the chat. But I wanted to go over, like you talking about
Or
Raiders
5 cents or
coaching.
10 cents.
Yeah. Or a dollar,
Or $1.25,
whatever it is.
whatever. Yeah.
But you look at it, it's like, looking at the guys they've hired, and it's going to circle back to what you were talking about, Nap. Egro, I'm not going to say it, Panthers defensive coordinator. Mike McDaniel, former head coach of Miami. Kevin Stefanski, former Brands head coach. Van Joseph, Broncos defensive coordinator. Matt Nagy, the Chiefs, coming over here. And I do have some stuff if we're going to talk a little KC at the end. Jeff Hafley, who just got hired by the Dolphins. Clay Kubiak, Clint's brother, is coming here. Joe Brady, the offensive coordinator from the Bills. Mike LaFleur, the Rams offensive coordinator. Nate Schillhouse, the Rams passing game coordinator. Chris Shula, the Rams defensive coordinator. And then Davis Webb, who you were just talking about. I think he's had 2 interviews. And then we go to like the one that was been a hot rumor for a while with Jesse Minter. Now, what I find really fascinating with Minter, this is the second interview. Usually if you have a second interview, you either sign that guy right then or ain't going to happen. And he's right now, he's in Baltimore. So he's interviewing for the Baltimore head coach. So it kind of leads me to what Nav was just saying. The guy's not on our team yet. We have not signed anybody. And again, like Nav, I completely agree. If, hey, Raider, Nation in the chat, who do you think is going to be the head coach? I agree. I think it's Kubiak. It's like the stars are aligning for Kubiak to be here.
With Mendoza sitting there at the number 1 pick.
Right.
That's a coach's dream right there. A dude that's a Heisman Trophy winner takes a team out of the goddamn dumpster, out of the basement that has never done it. I grew up in Indiana, and I'm a Hoosier fan through and through. But my football team was Notre Dame.
Okay,
Because
there we go.
IU never did crap my entire life, and I'm be 55 in March. This right here is epic for the state of Indiana. It's amazing. There are people still sleeping in tents in 10-degree weather in Bloomington, Indiana, down on the streets this morning, just so they can party about it again. It's ridiculous. It's a monumental, mind-blowing experience. And Mendoza, the last thing he said, you never heard him say an F-bomb ever, with his glory to God, right? But he said, I will effing die for these guys.
Yeah, he kind of reminds me of, the Chargers quarterback, the old guy that played for Baltimore. He never cursed or anything like that. He's kind of like him. And he also kind of reminds me of Derek Carr with, giving the glory to God and everything else. And that kid is one tough kid. A couple things with Mendoza, like those. If you guys watched the national championship?
You think?
Yeah. So like with Thomas, like when he hit him right on the chin, pretty much. And, again, that was what they, that hit that I forgot what they called it, but I'm sure you guys remember, but where, again, a player should be ejected from the game. And I heard that Tom Brady, wrote in about that player, should have been ousted because that was an easy call. Call. There was 3 hits in that game against Mendoza. And that just shows you how tough he is.
I just have on good authority that the referees knew this was going to be a heavy hitting ball game, and that it had to be an egregious, crazy call for a personal foul. It had to be, especially a targeting, because there were several targeting.
There it is.
There were several targeting.
3 of them.
Now, Miami is the reason they were in the position they were is because after about the 5th game, their defense decided to take over. And their defense, I'm 100% sure that their coach said, we're nasty. Let's get nasty. And I'm okay with that, because that's why we put shoulder pads on. That's why we have all the protection. That's why we do that stuff. But Mendoza, look, him busting through the middle and everybody saying it was an amazing play. The dude's 6'5", 225 and runs a 4.45. It's not amazing to me, but I thought he had the first down and went, oh, wait. No, that's a touchdown. That is, look, I don't do comps. I don't do comps. But that kind of run is a Josh Allen run. That's a Josh Allen run. Just that particular play is a Josh Allen run. What
he's kind of built like him. You know, he's not fast, but he's kind of built like Josh.
I mean, 4.45 at his size? That's pretty fast.
Oh, he's 4. Wait, Mendoza's 4.45? I thought he was slower than that.
I don't know where that 4.8, 4.9 shit came from. The dude can run. He just can't do it in a 40. His turbo is at the 10. And once he gets to the 10 yards, and then he moves. And there's a lot of players like that. They get faster after 10 yards. You know, Randy Moss is one of them. Randy Moss, same way. He didn't run a fabulous 40, but the next 40 was off the charts. So,
yeah, really the only guy that, really the only guy we've seen in the NFL in real recent time where you look at the guy and say, I think the only speed that guy has is lightning, would be Tyreek Hill.
Yes.
Tyreek Hill was like a different level of player that I'm not sure we've actually seen to that caliber in the NFL level. Like that caliber.
Maybe 2. So I would have loved in the day before the accident happened to see Henry Ruggs and Tyreek Hill. That would have been a fun 40 to watch.
That was a burner.
No. He was a quick guy and a very fast guy. He had very good top end speed, like as in like upper echelon.
Yeah, 22 mile an hour guy. Yeah.
I watched Ruggs in both the combine and on your team when he was playing for that brief period. He didn't have the Tyreek speed right out the gate. He had the Tyreek speed once he got going a couple strides. Tyreek is a unique character. That dude is like insane.
Yeah, there was only one other guy other than Tyreek, to your point, Richie. One guy prior to him that was similar to that. And it was Rocket Ishmael, and he was called Rocket for a reason.
Yeah, fair enough.
He came off the line, and he was dead, full blast, in 2 seconds.
I got one more for you, and another Raider. I'm going to say Cliff Branch. Cliff Branch was that type of player.
But the thing about that was, back then, it wasn't required. Because
he changed the NFL because of that game speed.
But I mean, the thing about it is we never got a chance to really see it from him because it wasn't needed. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing. Tyreek Hill, though, off the line, you send him straight on a go, that dude's 22 miles an hour in 6 yards, 7 yards. He's at a full top end speed in 6 yards.
Hey, enjoy your birthday, brother, and don't get yourself in trouble. Don't make your wife mad at you.
GZ, happy 72nd birthday, brother.
Happy birthday, my man. Enjoy dinner. Have fun with your wife, and
happy birthday, brother.
See you next week, buddy.
Damn! Look at this. There's a price tag on the bottom of my cup. See that? What the hell? Go. My old ladies have my ass on that.
Yeah. So, you kind of stole a little bit of where I was going to go with it, which is
what's up, Ardell?
My gut reaction was that I thought you guys were probably going to try to land McDaniel as your number 1. And I say this only because I have one reason, only one. He was the very, very first coach of your interview cycle here that you met in person. And not only did you meet in person, but you met with like basically the core owners of your team. So it was Brady, it was Davis, and you intentionally booked that while all of them were together. And that, whether or not we like to admit it or not, that kind of means something, right? Like these guys aren't going to waste their time with just some random coaching hire and be like, whatever. No. Like they're only meeting guys like that in person if they are dead serious of potentially bringing them in as the head coach. And McDaniel was the very first out of your cycle that you met in person.
Right.
And my understanding is that he hasn't solidified his role right yet with the Chargers. He is committed to them, barring the acceptance of a head coaching job with either the Raiders or somewhere else. That's my understanding.
And Richie, you bring up a really good point. So you think about it. McDaniels comes in for an interview. You have the core ownership there.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't get hired. And then, then he makes a statement, which again, he not a head coach yet. If I don't get a head coaching job, I'm going to be the head coach or the offensive coordinator, or I will be the offensive coordinator. I don't know if the Chargers even offered him anything yet or interviewed him for, offensive coordinator position. But him saying
he was interviewed.
Okay, he did. So interview.
Yeah.
So if I don't get this, this is the job I'm going to take. So I think he's trying to put some pressure on, the Raiders and everybody else out there that needs a head coach. Going, if you don't hire me as a head coach, I ain't going to come to your team as an offensive coordinator. I'm going to go to the Chargers.
I actually agree with that. And here's the long and the short of it. He dealt with a shady ownership group in Miami. The Miami owner loved him as a dude and thought that he was the answer. The GM and McDaniel butted heads and ultimately couldn't work together and was let go. Now, the long and the short of it is McDaniel is understanding that he is coming into a situation where Spytek is solidified as your GM for the foreseeable future. He has been basically handed the keys to the castle, and Tom Brady and Spytek, as an owner, co-owner, partial owner, whatever, and Spytek are thick as thieves, generally speaking. And therefore, he knows that if there is an argument or a disagreement or any kind of thing, that it'll be him, not somebody else, right? He's going to be the guy that's going to draw the short straw. And I suspect, that's just my gut reaction here, right? I suspect that because this is his second go around, that he put forward some very direct and very candid questions to the ownership group surrounding this kind of intertwined relationship between owner and GM and concerns surrounding it. He seems like he's that kind of guy, and he's kind of smart about it. And I also wonder if he said, I expect some kind of guarantee for a 2 or 3 year deal at minimum, where I'm going to get an opportunity to build out the team in my image and not fall fate like you did with all these other head coaches these past few years. I want that in writing as a guarantee, because I'm not going to come here and give up, which he would potentially be doing, one of my last opportunities perhaps to be a head coach in the NFL if it doesn't work out for whatever reason, and risk it. And I think that's totally fair on his part. I would probably have the same conversation.
I agree too, Richie. I think a lot of these head coaches, the first time around, when you become a first-time head coach, you're the rookie. The front office is going to hold all the power.
Yes.
But these coaches, like what you just said, they're coming back for a second time around, which could be their last time around. You're going to have just as many questions for the ownership as the ownership's going to have for you. to make sure if you're a person who's going to be a head coach, you get the guys that you want to have that are going to be under you versus who your general manager or your owner may want to have. So it's an interview both ways.
It is. And I firmly believe that. And I think that that's part of the reason why I actually think that one of the cards that McDaniels laid on the table as a trump card to the Vegas ownership group, as well as some of the other ownership groups that he's met with, is super simple, which is I asked for some things that I believe are reasonable. And if you're not going to give them to me, I'm going to the Chargers as the OC, and I'll be totally fine with it.
Right. And that kind of circles back to my point. It's like, okay, we just interviewed with you, and I'm not going to become your OC. If you want me, you're going to have to give me these things and offer me that head coach job. And based on the conversation, I want the things that I want. And it's going to have me fun play.
Yeah, and you're going to come hell or high water, you're going to give them to me, or I am just simply not going to say yes.
Right.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly what he's doing. Like, exactly what he's doing.
It's a smart move.
So, Ardell, I actually disagree with this a little bit. I think that Brady, he doesn't give you credibility, but I do believe that he lends some leverage to your team in terms of future head coaches, where Brady can then, and I don't even know what the rules are on this, but I suspect that he would technically be legally allowed to, in terms of tampering and stuff, kind of become an additional coach for the quarterback when you bring them in. I think, and that's
I don't.
and
You
that's an
you can't
option.
do it like you can't make them like a quarterback's coach.
No.
But hey, if they want to work out on a weekend, something like that off the clock, then they can do that.
Kenneth, Charles Woodson can walk in that building anytime he wants and work with the DBs.
Yeah.
Well, no,
you know what I mean?
But he's not an owner.
Tom Brady can take his suit off, come down there and put some freaking gear on and work with the QBs. Nobody can say that's an issue.
But he can't do it as an actual coach. They can't hire him as a coach. If he wants to go work out with them, yes. But
they can't. The thing about it is he's being paid for the Raiders to win. And if they feel that he has a positive freaking attribute to get down there, Mark Davis needs to say, dude, you're making a fuck ton of money. Go down there and make us better.
Yeah. So,
in the off season, because he doesn't have any obligation to Fox Sports in the off season. None.
No. So I believe that he has the ability to do that sort of thing. I don't think it's a conflict. Brady is already not allowed to have any affiliation with the Raiders with regards to his contract at Fox Sports. He has to recuse himself from those games and whatnot, which is totally understandable. So I actually think that Tom Brady's leverage for your Las Vegas Raiders is more on quarterback development. Now,
yes.
The one thing that I think far too many people overlook, I mean, Brady pissed me off when he was playing, but hindsight being 2020, hindsight being 2020, he was kind of undeniably a guy that Brady was not someone that had the best physical gifts. Like, he was not the guy like a Lamar Jackson that could just beat you with his legs. He was not like a Josh Allen who had the galloping moose, for example, that could run you over and then literally off his back foot, off of his big toe, chuck it 80 yards down the field. Tom Brady was a unique character in the fact that
he did it all from here.
He did it his head, and he had to earn it. He had to work his way to where he got to. He had to learn the techniques and that sort of thing. And it's that type of work ethic and willpower that goes a long way to being able to transfer those types of skills and learned skills to somebody new. Like a guy like Elway has come on, and I think we spoke about this last week, but I'll say it again because it's actually Elway and Brady are the exact opposite type of people.
Yep.
Like, they are not even in the same ballpark.
Elway's, though, he is pretty smart, man. He went to Stanford, so.
No, he's not. I'm sorry. He's dumb as a freaking post. But anyways,
That's a lot of car dealerships, though.
look, sorry.
Oh, that's funny.
Elway is no dummy, but the problem is that Elway, when it comes to
What's up,
football,
Vic?
Elway, when it comes to football,
Overall,
is not a like an incredibly brilliant football mind, generally speaking. He knows coverages and knows how to throw things and all that kind of stuff, and that's fantastic. But the whole point with Elway is he was so physically gifted in terms of throwing the football that even he said it in the interview, right?
Ardell, stop
Yeah.
it.
I saw that. But the point with Elway, though, right, is Elway was so physically gifted at throwing a football that he just kind of did stuff and it worked. Right? Like he had no technique that he needed to learn in order to throw a football. He just kind of knew how to do it and do it well. Tom Brady,
million miles an
Gifted
hour.
arm. He was a pitcher, got drafted by Toronto. I mean, the guy had a cannon.
he broke people's hands.
Demarius Thomas said the first time he caught a ball across the middle on like a 10-yard slant, the ball took him down. Not he caught it, but damn it, the velocity on it, he could have ran further. You know? And but damn it, just catching the damn thing freaking made him fall down.
Right.
You know?
And actually, Ardell brings up a great point. Marino was very similar.
Yeah.
Right. Marino was very similar. Now, Marino was missing a bit of a killer instinct that Elway had that Marino didn't. Right. But again, killer instinct is a natural gift. It is a kind of a character trait that certain people have and certain people don't. And Elway was on Shannon Sharp's podcast, and literally, to his credit, there's very few things I'll credit for Elway in terms of self-awareness. But this is definitely one of them, which is he went to Shannon Sharp and he said, I would make a horrible football coach. Like awful. Like I couldn't do it. And he said, you would put me on the field in a certain situation and I would just do it. I couldn't tell you why I did certain things. I couldn't tell you the reason for a certain thing being done and why I chucked it how I did. He's like, I just knew what to do. And he said, however, Kubiak, my backup, he'd be like, no. You have to take Gary. 2 steps. Yeah, Gary Kubiak.
That'd be clinched.
Yes. And Gary Kubiak, on the other hand, was like, no. That coverage, you need to do this. You need to do it this way because of this and this and this and blah, 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 and this, that, and the other. Because Gary Kubiak had none of the physical gifts and had to do everything with his head.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, Ardell says, he spells it out right there. The best arm we've ever seen. And we probably will never see it again.
Yeah.
We'll probably never see a freaking
unless it's on the Raiders, then I want to see it again.
No, a fastball like that, we probably won't see that again since Elway. But Marino, so I have two key differences between Elway and Marino. Obviously, one is Super Bowls. Yeah. One is Super Bowl wins, right? The second one is Marino had touch. He could just flick it over there. You know what I mean? Elway wasn't going to flick it to anyone. He was going to freaking throw it through you. And so that's my two key differences between the two.
Well, there's one other. There's a third, too. John couldn't run. Marino couldn't run. I mean, he can do he can slide, miss a tackle from Marino, but Elway was fast.
Jack, no, he was not fast.
Oh, he was.
No, he was not fast. He saw opportunity and ran with the football. He was not fast, bro. He was not fast at all. He wasn't Lamar. He wasn't this. He wasn't, you know what I mean? So Mendoza. Let's bring it back a moment.
Yeah.
So you saw this game was getting to the point where it's like somebody needs to take control of this football game. Now, did Mendoza freaking throw for 400 yards and 3 touchdowns? No, but he commanded the football game. He did it here. And then when his 6'5", 225-pound ass freaking decided they freaking called a timeout, I'm like, why are they fucking calling a timeout right here? That's the first thing. I went, oh, shit, they're going for it. 4th and 5. I said, they can probably get this first down. And I looked at my wife and I go, hey, do you think they're going to just give it to Mendoza and just let him do what he needs to do? And she goes, they should. And I'm like, okay, cool. And sure enough, I'm like, yeah, first down. I'm like, oh, shit, touchdown.
Yeah, he got hit pretty hard, like, too.
He got blasted, bounced up, and said, what? So if any quarterback that I've ever seen coming out of college on those type of hits from that Miami defense gets hell up, comes back there, and he's not having any injury from it, he is ready for the NFL. It's that simple.
And going back to this, well, look at it. He got an engineering degree in 3 years from one of the top engineering schools in the entire United States. In 3 years.
Number 3.
You know, you have him work out with Tom Brady, who also has it here, and you put those minds, you know, one man transferring that knowledge over to another young man, and the kid's smart enough to pick that stuff up. I mean, there's no way in my mind that he's not going to be the first pick unless, again, 3 first rounders is not going to even touch this year.
Here's what it comes down to. Mendoza is a bargaining piece for our next head coach. I am 100% certain that Mark Davis and Tom Brady are saying, Clint Kubiak.
Right.
Look at this guy. Him winning the national championship has probably got Kubiak going, I'm not interviewing with anybody else at this point. And yes, that's the dude I want.
Me too. Well,
so
and I also look at,
the Kubiak clan are similar type of quarterbacks. Tall, big, can run when they need to, but they haven't. But the Kubiaks have not been like spectacular. Gary Kubiak, he damn near won a Super Bowl for you. I mean, it's
no. He was no. Kubiak was actually a decent quarterback. Like he was not like he was a good. There's a reason why the Broncos kept him as a backup for as long as they did, is because he was great.
Yes, that's why when people say AOC needs to just start next year, and then whoever no, we have AOC because he's a serviceable, good backup. He's not going to get us beat. That is what a QB2 is. You have to come in there, just don't get us beat. That's your whole job as a QB2. Don't get us beat. And then when it comes down to one of those plays where you can win a game, do it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I got a question for you. So Richie, we're going to rewind the clock. Last year when you guys got Bo. Remember what, the talking, we had a big debate on this, a huge 2 years ago. We had it. Dang, I've been doing this show that long. We had a big debate, start him or come off the bench, right? I mean, we had a big debate, with everyone, on the show. So now are you saying, you put Mendoza in day one and start him, or do you let an Aiden O'Connell or whoever else is going to be there, maybe as a veteran quarterback, start off the season? Because there's two different thought processes always. So starting off a brand new rookie.
Okay, so
versus let him learn.
You're asking me a question. So what is the question?
No,
so the question is, well, I'm asking both of you guys, but I'm starting off with Nav because Richie, I brought it up because we had the same question with Bo Nix back then.
Okay.
As a rookie coming in, do you want Mendoza to start right away, or do you want him to learn under someone who's been there, before, and then bring him in only if the quarterback's sucking or if he gets hurt? Which way would you go with Mendoza?
Who? Me?
Yeah.
Okay. Several factors will determine how I think about this. First, you have to get him, undoubtedly. There's no question you draft him number one. No question in my mind. Then, what do we do in free agency? What do we do to protect the dude? What's he doing in spring training? What's he look like? Is he better than AOC? Is he able to protect himself better than AOC? Is he able to do that? Sure. Just start him day one. If not, you start AOC, you let him freaking roll. We figure it out as we go. And in the middle of the season, he becomes the starter. So, look, there's several ways to develop a quarterback. Developing a quarterback behind another seems to work well for the Green Bay Packers.
Yep.
Seems to work very well.
Right.
But not everybody works that way. It's a win.
Deja vu in this conversation.
Look, to me, all it takes is 6 or 7 wins next year, and that is an huge improvement. And if they're decisive wins, that's a big deal. So do I start Mendoza day one? It's all going to depend on just how he operates in the building. It's really hard to say that. It's really hard to say.
It is. I mean, we haven't even drafted the kid yet.
First, if our head coach is Kubiak, Mendoza starts day one. If our head coach is Brian Flores, probably not. It's the difference between an offensive-minded coach and a defensive-minded coach. And they come rolling in the door, and they see that all these freaking head coaches have been fired in the last 4 years. I better win today. So the thing about it is Tom Brady has made it very clear that first-year quarterbacks are getting freaking screwed because they don't get an opportunity to freaking grow and develop. And since he's in the building, I would steer towards no, he will not start day one because of the way Brady feels about it. That's the only thing is that's the way Brady feels. Mm-hmm. And obviously he's going to have a lot of say in that. So I guess that's the rest. That's it for me. But
you just don't know yet. Yeah.
Everyone. If you're preparing everyone and you have an offensive line that can protect them, fuck yeah, let's go.
That's what I'm talking about O-line too.
So my short answer on this is Gino's going to have to go since you're going to bring in, he's done. And so that's going to leave you with maybe AOC, and I say maybe.
No, he's still under contract.
Yeah, he's on contract.
You can say he's under contract, but that doesn't mean that he's going to stay. It all depends on what the feeling is within the organization. So my thought process is this. I think that because you're likely going to go your QB1 with Mendoza in this year's draft, you need to start him day one. And this is why. Number one, he is the number one quarterback picked. And number two, he is a different breed than Bo Nix was coming out of college. And also, number three, and this is almost even more important than that, the quarterback and the coach are implementing a new system together, and the system that will be implemented will likely be wrapped around Mendoza and his strengths in order to elevate his play, or at least help him play at the NFL level. Now, Jack, I already know what your next question is going to be after my 3 points there. Why am I saying I would do something different for the Raiders in that scenario than I suggested for the
Right.
Broncos?
We talked. I can't tell you how many shows. I was blown away with your answer.
And my answer is this: Sean Payton has a quarterback-friendly offense to begin with, but it is complicated and it is layered. A rookie quarterback typically does not do well with it, and Sean Payton was already in the building prior to Bo Nix getting there. So Sean Payton was basically trying to dumb down and control his offense, and you knew he was going to need to do that with a young rookie quarterback that was making mistakes. You need to look no further than even this season, where you've seen Bo Nix have certain games where he's kind of like regressed a little bit. I almost would refer to it as kind of like the Josh Allens, if you will. You saw Josh Allen as he was developing into the quarterback that he is now. By and large, he's pretty much resolved those issues. But for the first 3 or 4 years, Josh Allen would have full stretches within the season where he would absolutely just like you question, yikes, that's not good. And he would almost regress in the middle of the season as he was learning and developing as a quarterback. So I think you need to start Mendoza in your scenario. My answer to Bo Nix, I still stand by my original statement, which is he did way better than I thought he was going to do by starting. However, I do think that he actually suffered a little bit by starting those first 4 games, because he got into the habit of questioning his reads and was hesitant, and he was regressing in footwork. You needed him to start developing technique at the NFL level, more so than I think Mendoza does. Mendoza has physical traits that Bo Nix doesn't. Bo Nix needed to learn the mental aspect at the NFL level, so he felt comfortable playing the game the way he likes to play it.
Yeah, I agree. I think Bo Nix did regress a little bit. I saw him this year with more happy feet than I did last year. And you know what? You could be 100% correct. Maybe even Sean Payton's even pushing him maybe a little bit too far at this point. I don't know, but watching a couple of the games this year to be on to do this show, I did see a lot of happy feet, and he's got one of the best offensive lines in football. So, okay, it makes it full circle. It made a deja vu, guys. It was kind of cool to talk about that and bring it up, because that was it. Richie knows this. We talked about this almost every week for about 3 or 4 weeks,
and
based
look,
on him playing. So that's why I wanted to ask that question, why I'm still here on the show.
Look, Jack, you and I have known each other long enough. A lot of audience members are here, and DZ's been part of the Wild Wild West and kind of was coming into my other show for blocks of time too on Broncos Talk. I will happily go completely against the grain and justify it, and own it if I'm wrong. But at the same time, if I'm right, and you come back and then try to claim that someone else knew better or whatever just because they think they're right now and not before, I will also happily throw it back in your face and tell you to shut up. So, it is what it is, right? Like
Richie, you notice I never leave it open-ended for you to be able to do that to me.
Yes, I know. Yes. We'll have to work on that. I will find a way to win.
Ain't happening.
Yeah. But the thing is, though, is when you're assessing a situation, you have to go all the way in one direction or all the way in another, and then have to be able to justify why you think one thing or the other with some degree of facts. Now, if you've overrepresented certain things and underrepresented other things because you may have assessed the scenario wrong, that's going to happen, and that's totally cool. So, but the thing is that what I'm finding with a lot of Broncos country fans is they're sitting here and being like, they're completely ignoring the negatives and only paying attention to the positives. And they're just coming into things with completely orange and blue glasses on. And often you hear a bunch of like nonsense in Broncos country that just makes you want to just run your head through a wall, man. Like it's ridiculous. Like the Broncos are a good team this year. I agree. But there is far too many in Broncos country that are absolutely just slandering like a guy like Alex Singleton, for example, who like
Why? He's good. I like him.
Yeah, they're completely overlooking like the hard-nosed style of football that he plays, and they're also completely overlooking that he's the guy that's the quarterback of the middle part of the field for the Broncos. Like that actually means something. Like that's important. That's an important spot on the field. And when he's not there, the defense kind of misses stuff. And that's something that needs to be factored into decisions as well. And it's unfortunate.
And you know what? I'll tie this in too. So, Bob knows that how much I like Spillane. And then when we were talking Singleton last year, I looked up the stats between Singleton and Spillane, and I was blown away that at that point, I think it was game 4, game 5 of the year, that he had better stats than Spillane. No, he did. I'm telling you, it blew me away. It's like I could not guess it. But I had to do it because Richie was talking Singleton. I'm talking Spillane, and so I had to go look it up. And I looked it up. And
Bye.
No,
Bye, Bobby. Bye, Bobby.
who are you talking to?
Bobby Spillane. Bye.
Oh,
Here's the door. It's over here.
See, the one thing I will say about Singleton is yes, he sometimes gets aggressive on some plays, and yes, he sometimes has some like really boneheaded decisions that he makes, which I will be the first to also admit.
Steph, how you doing?
But the question here is this: do the boneheaded plays outweigh the positive ones? And overall, there's more positive to Singleton's game than there are negative boneheaded plays. Okay, it's just a simple fact, and that's my whole point with Broncos country. But the overwhelming majority of Broncos country is like Singleton's trash. Singleton's trash. I was like, as soon as you let Singleton walk, I'm telling you right now, you are going to immediately notice that certain things that you just kind of had working well will stop working well. It's a natural thing. A natural born leader on the field like Singleton, who he is, by the way, is going to drive people to do certain things a certain way and stay on the same page and stay glued together. And you want that from the middle of the field within your middle linebacker, your green dot guy. Like that's an important thing.
Well, it's like with Spillane, right? So it's like, okay, dude. So we offered you $1 million less than the Patriots offered you.
where did you hear that? I never heard it. There's $1 million less.
29 mil.
Okay, so $1 million per year because he got 30. He got 3 years, $33 million with incentives to make 37
each year.
If you basically what Nav is saying is that the Raiders offered him $1 million less per year on a 3-year deal, and he walked.
No state taxes.
And I wonder were there any incentives? Because I never heard anything about incentives.
And he still left. That is not a fucking Raider. You leave when offered a similar deal with no state taxes, and you leave not a Raider, bro. I'm just saying, you're not into it for that. To me, it's all about freaking loyalty. And if your team that you say you're loyal to offers you similar deal and you walk away, that's your choice. And I'm glad
definitely it's his choice. There's no doubt about that.
I'm glad you suck, Spillane.
So he doesn't suck.
He does suck.
We're going to see how he plays against the Broncos, so that'll be an interesting watch right there.
No, he is missing tackles. He is missing coverages. He's going to get his ass tore off by Jarrett Stidham. I'm telling you that. Because Stidham, look, you got to remember what Stidham did when he had opportunity to play at the Raiders. That dude had, look, let me tell you his lifetime stats, even though he hasn't played much.
Here, Nav, I think I kind of know where you're getting at here. The long and the short of it is that there's a difference between a guy that has good stats because he was basically stat chasing based on style of play. And then there's a difference between a guy that has good stats because he is always in the right spot on the field at the right time, doing the right things. And Jack, my assessment, Nav, just jump in if I'm totally wrong here, and based on what you're trying to say. Nav is basically putting Spillane in the same category that I put Justin Simmons in.
No, I don't see it.
Justin Simmons was a dude that would do certain things to pad his personal stats by putting himself in certain situations. But when the situations really mattered and he needed to absolutely do the thing that he needed to do the proper way, proper technique, proper tackling angles, whatever the case may be, he failed because he was in it for himself and the stats rather than in it for the team.
Spillane got run over twice by a running back last game. I'm just saying.
Yeah, well, we can agree to disagree on that one.
Wasn't even close. Got run over.
No, Jack. My comment is that what I'm hearing
he's
from
not the same.
Navman,
He's not the same player where he's trying to pad stat.
No, well, then good thing we got rid of him.
Hold on.
I'm just saying,
Jack. I'm not personally saying he was trying to pad stats because I'm going to be honest. I didn't pay that close attention to comparing each individual play of Spillane. He was not the guy that I was personally paying attention to. What I'm hearing Navman say, though, is like a very similar sentiment to the way that I would describe Justin Simmons. It's the same kind of, you did well and
you leave.
Yeah.
Well, Nav's saying, well, it's a little different. Nav's saying because of the money being very similar, which now you got me inspired to I have to go look up the total contract for Spillane.
You should.
Because I don't remember hearing the numbers before.
You'll be pissed. You'll be pissed when you see that.
Well, you know what? In our private chat, I will let you know if I'm pissed.
Just Google it, bro. Just Google it.
I want to know. We've talked a lot about, a lot of what ifs, a lot of has-beens who have not been here. But, the biggest game of the week is coming up.
Right. Right. And that's where I want to segue back to Rich like that. But I have some stats about Jarrett Stidham. Would you like to hear them?
I want to review the Buffalo game first.
Okay.
I want to review that Buffalo game first. And
Jarrett Stidham's better than people think he is.
Oh, I'm actually in lockstep with you, by the way, on that one. So like the thing is, I don't think we're going to be disagreeing a whole lot in your general assessment.
No.
But
not at all.
So I want to go ahead and just break down a few things in the Buffalo game. There was rather, and still is, if you're going to be honest, an awful lot of nonsense after the game surrounding officiating. I have had some critical things to say about officiating where they have not officiated plays the same way. My incredibly controversial take in this game is this might have been the best officiated game I've seen almost all year, actually. Only the egregious penalties were actually called. They generally allowed the mutual stuff to go away, whereas if one guy was hand-batting another guy, they kind of let that wash, even though it was technically a PI or technically, something along those lines. the only plays in the game that were seemingly called here were the ones that were actually game impacting or could have been, and they were called evenly across the board. The only exception to this that I have is actually the in overtime at 12:25. We had an interesting play.
That one was. I don't know how to call that one.
Which one?
That big play. That one that you're talking about. Here it is.
So this one here is Josh Allen, who is pushed all the way back in the end zone. And on this play here, DJ Jones basically blew right up the middle, just plowed through the Buffalo Bills offensive line. It was just like a bulldozer. And this got the numbers, I think it's 76, if I'm reading the number here correctly. The offensive lineman is actually holding DJ Jones's right arm as he's trying to grab Josh Allen.
Right.
And that would have been a safety, which would have actually ended the game in very short order after the Broncos had already had their first possession. If that was a safety, that game would have been over right there. But instead, we have this guy here in the back that you kind of see facing you there in the image, holding DJ Jones on the left side, and then we have 76 holding his arm on the right side. Like, it was so egregious and so obvious.
Can you explain to me what the fuck this dude's doing on 99? What the fuck's he do?
He had to let go after holding him.
No, but I mean, this dude down here, he's just standing there.
Yep.
And 99's coming around the freaking corner. It's like, what are you doing?
That outside offensive lineman was holding Zach Allen, who's number 99.
Yeah.
And Zach Allen basically ripped through him so hard that he had to let go in fear of getting a penalty. And
look, I don't know the Bills well enough, but 76 gets a handful up there as the back is blasting him from behind. That right there should have been the end of the ball game.
Right. This play here is what a lot of people just don't get. They don't follow, and they're sitting there saying, like, why are Broncos fans kind of sloughing off the nonsense? Because this actually should have been the last play. Like, this right here
should have been the end of the ball game.
Over. Bye. Peace out. Right.
Defensive. So the rules in overtime are defensive touchdown or score, defensive score, or the first team goes down and scores a touchdown.
Right.
That's the rules.
Now,
that right there, I did not actually pick that apart the way you did, but damn, that should have been in your ball game.
Okay.
Right.
Now, moving right along to even earlier in the game. This is right in the early stages of the first half of the game. Yeah. Right in that portion there. Yeah. This is Courtland Sutton, and this is Lewis, if I'm not mistaken, as the defender for the Buffalo Bills.
Yep.
You will note that Courtland Sutton goes to the ground. His knee is down, and he's got his hands on the ball.
Is possessed.
Pardon me?
Ball is possessed, knee down.
Well, is it possessed or is it not possessed? This is the ultimate question.
To me, it looks like it is.
But here's the thing.
It's a still photo, though.
And this is a photo. This is a still photo. Now, it's this versus the play. We'll just call it that one. This one here is the exact counter or the exact opposite of what ended up happening in the Bills game. Now, there's also, by the way, on the play just before the play that all of the Bills fans are getting all upset about. The interception one.
Oh yeah, that one's different. That's a different one. I have my own on that one.
Right. But there's a key and important portion of the current rules as they exist in the NFL that is actually critical and important. In order for you to have a catch as a wide receiver, and the NFL did this because the games were getting out of hand in terms of offense in the games, where it was just a complete, like, it was almost unfair in terms of how they had skewed the rules in favor of the offense in the NFL. A wide receiver must maintain possession of the ball through the ground. Through the ground. Right. No, through the ground.
No, to the ground.
Well, unless they make a football move. Sorry, if they don't make a football move, they must maintain possession through the ground, not to the ground, through the ground. As in, once they hit the ground, they must maintain possession.
Ball cannot touch the ground and be moved by the ground.
And or if it then comes out as on their way down and it pops up or is obtained by the other, that's an interception, fumble, whatever you want to call it, turnover.
As long as it doesn't touch the ground,
as long as it doesn't touch
over on his back and freaky catch back.
100%, exactly. Right. Now, in this particular play, I by the way, the NFL is super picky about this kind of crap, so I can't actually show the video. Otherwise, I would have had that prepped instead.
Hey, I'm just proud that you got a picture going. I like it.
It's great, isn't it? It makes our conversation easier.
Discussion on what we can play and what we can't play.
Yeah, this is true. So in this particular instance here, as well as the Buffalo Bills instance that happened the play before McMillan intercepted the ball, the exact same thing happened. Catch was made, knee was down or shoulder was down, and the ball popped out after hitting the ground, right? Now, if the rule was you maintain possession and a body part hits the ground, because I meant
Jeff wrong, by the way. Just saying.
Sorry, who?
Jeff. He's wrong.
Who's Jeff?
Yeah, in the chat. Raider Jeff's wrong. I'm just flat telling you.
Okay.
Anyway, keep going, Rich.
So
I'm just saying.
When you look at this play here, by what the what the Bills fans are basically claiming about the McMillan interception, if what they're saying is correct, then this play would have been a catch.
Right.
And their player that made a similar right, and their player that made a similar play in the play before the interception, it would have also been a catch. However, the point is simple. The Bills guy that dropped it in the same way that Sutton dropped this play, neither the Broncos fans or the Bills fans in those two respective plays prior to the McMillan interception screamed, yelled, cursed, or did anything. They said, yeah, that wasn't a catch. However, once McMillan ended up having his hand up at the same time as the ball was caught and came up with the ball, all of a sudden everyone got pissed.
Come on, Jeff. We're only fucking teasing, bro. Don't get all fucking flustered with your fucking landing beard. It's right here.
So, anyways, that is the point.
Jeff, you can land an airplane right here on him. He's got a nice beard. It's like way down here with nothing right here. So it's like you just land a jet in there.
So the point being is that the rules. The point is that the rules of the NFL matter.
They do.
They do. And so even though we might be used to a certain way while we're watching games of old, as an example, that does not necessarily mean that the current NFL rules will match what you saw from in the past, right? And so we need to properly operate through the correct lens of what the current NFL rules are, and that is incredibly important.
Right. And I agree with all of what you said there. Except for the fact that the ball was caught contact was made with the ground, then the ball was traded to the Broncos player.
No,
So
that's not true.
It was not a simultaneous possession.
What happened
So,
was that's not
if
true.
you look at the rule, simultaneous possession, look at that rule.
Yep.
A simultaneous possession is one that goes to just like someone running down to first base. Catch gets there, player gets there at the same time, it goes to the offense. Simply put, the rule actually shows simultaneous possession as it goes to the offense.
What's up, Pena?
I'm
Just
actually
saying.
not. I'm
I'm
not
not
calling
saying it was a
simultaneous
bad
possession.
call. I'm just saying that I'm not sure it was the right call to begin with.
Hey, Richie, what do you have it like, on your DVR, like what minute, like, how far in the game it was? So I didn't see it. So
3:33, I think, something. 3:33 left in the ball
3
game.
minutes and 33 seconds or 3 hours and
No,
31 minutes.
3:33 left in the ball game.
Okay.
I'd have to double check to see what that equals in terms of length of the game
No,
itself.
it's okay. If it's 3:33 left in the game, it's easy to find.
Yeah, and then so in terms of the McMillan interception, there's a few things that were different. One, McMillan had his hand. He didn't have it on the football at first, but he had it at the back part of where the ball ended up after it was caught. His arm was already there as part of defending the ball. And then in addition to that, the guy was not able to make a football move and immediately tried to fall to the ground without fully maintaining possession because it shifted actually in his hand prior to him going down. And because there was movement of the football,
Okay.
it then opens up for not actually maintaining possession, which means that he must survive contact with the ground with the ball. And net of contacting the ground immediately before making a football move, which, by the way, is in the rules. He can make a football move or have the ball of the whistle blow it dead, which neither occurred. He then lost possession of the ball after falling to the ground, and the defender clearly maintained possession after falling through the ground, making it an interception or turnover, whatever you want to call it.
No, I get what you're saying, but in a game like that, this is a freaking big game.
Oh, I don't doubt it. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Referees should be like, okay, wait. Let's give this to the offense because that's the way you should do it. It needs to go to the offense first. Unless there's definitive video on that. Here's the thing that I saw real time. Dude catches football, comes down with possession, turn towards the defensive back, knee on the ground, and gets the ball taken from him. That's what I saw. In several videos I watched, I'm like, wait, what? Do I give a shit? No, don't care. But, I mean, it was, I was like, damn. I was feeling for my friend, bro. I'm like, damn, my friend's a Bills fan. So I'm like, damn, that's.
Well, the way I looked at it, the other way I look at it is, the ball shifted as he brought it from here to here, which basically meant that he didn't have possession. And
I get it. That is so freaking hairline shit.
Yeah, but the ref was right there though, and they made the call being right within the vicinity of the call, right? And so
Gene Sarator said that should be a freaking lost freaking challenge.
Yes.
said it right on the
Yeah.
the broadcast. Said, "Nah, I mean that's not enough to say that was a pick." Sure enough, they called it a pick. I mean, Sarator. I mean, there's not many refs I will listen to, but Sarator is one of them.
Oh, I actually agree with you there. My only other issue then is that the DJ Jones should have been a call-in from New York to allow the Broncos to replay and get a penalty on that if they're gonna then not call something like that one, for example, a pick or whatever. So my general take on this is that I actually felt that the game was generally called fairly.
It was.
Where the Bills guy went to the ground, fumbled the ball, and it was deemed an incomplete pass. Cortland Sutton caught that pass that I showed you in that picture, and immediately after that photo that still was there, the ball popped out of his hands on the ground prior to surviving the ground, and it was ruled an incomplete pass. Right?
Right.
Now here's the other kicker now. If Cortland Sutton hit the ground, rolled up, and then it popped up as he or was bobbling around and it maybe kicked off his foot or something, you're going to be the first one to say, if it popped up and the Bills guy grabbed it, that's a turnover, right? Because the ball didn't hit the ground and contact wasn't made to make it end.
Okay, no contact. Okay.
Right.
Unless he had contact with the ground while he had.
Yes, unless he had contact with the defender and the ground and it came up, then that would simply be an incomplete pass, right? Fair enough.
If
now
there was no contact with the defender, then that ball's live until it's
correct.
not.
Until it's not. Exactly. Now, one last comment on the Bills Broncos game in terms of images here on the Wild Wild West. I came prepared today, folks. I am ready to go.
This one right here, I hate this one. This right here, that one pissed me off, even though it was to the Broncos side of things that should have been Broncos. It pissed me off.
So this one here was actually one that I saw quite a few Bills fans getting all flustered about, and
Look,
I understand why they're upset. I totally get it. But don't try to tell me that a dude hanging off of someone's left shoulder while stopping his hand from going up to catch the ball is not pass interference when he's not even looking back to see where the ball is.
the first thing that's going to happen with an official is going to be like, is he looking back for the football?
And he is not.
Absolutely not.
Does he have his hand around his back? 3, is the ball there yet? It's not. That is pass interference.
Yep.
I mean, 3.
I've been trying to look this up on YouTube for that play with 3 minutes and 31 seconds left. What quarter was that?
Overtime.
Overtime. Okay.
I mean, look, right hand over the shoulder, left hand trying to take his left arm down.
Yep.
Not looking back for the football. That is the 3 freaking things an official is going to call defensive pass interference on.
Yep.
That is it. I'm just saying.
This is exactly the thing, right? Is like this is definitely a defensive back who is not playing the ball but playing the player to stop him
He's
from catching.
behind him. First, he's behind him, Rich. He's behind him, so he's catching up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's running to where the football's going. So therefore, he's already been beat.
Yes.
So what a defensive back is told to do, when you get beat, you tackle him.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. So
don't give him a touchdown.
Agreed.
Yeah, I would definitely like to see where his backhand, is he like grabbing him
I know it's definitely around his shoulder. You can see it over his
I'm on my phone, so
right ear
it's
hole.
small.
So,
Yeah.
so Jack, to paint the picture of what this picture shows for you, the defender's left arm is holding down on top of the hooked left arm of
Oh.
Mims that's trying to go up to catch the
If,
ball.
if its arms pushing him down, then that's definitely a PI.
Yeah. And then the defender's right arm is on Mims's back. A different angle will show that he's holding on to his jersey to slow him down.
That's
he's
what I
not
want to see. I
and
can
he's
see him
not
like,
looking back for the
hands
football.
flapping, the receiving hands, but yeah, you
And-
got your hand and you're grabbing jersey and you're not looking. That's
and-
PI.
And number
When you're not
and
looking back for the football,
you're
No.
playing the player.
Or-
Yeah, you're playing
I
the
mean,
player, not the ball. Yeah.
typically interference.
And
well, Ricky, welcome to the world of the Raiders of getting plays called against you.
Nope. Welcome to the world of good play call.
no,
That
this
is
was a
actually
great play
good
call.
ref call right there.
Yes. So the Broncos got this pass interference. The Bills were all pissed that we got the PI on this call, and they were trying to claim that this behavior is totally okay. Now, what I will give this ref crew credit for, by the way, is in earlier plays where Mims or whomever else was the wide receiver, if they tried to hand fight in this scenario and like get all
They let
kind of,
him go. They let him
Yeah,
go.
let him go.
they did not call those at all, and I have to give the ref
That's
credit.
PI.
Yes.
That right there is PI.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Unless
Anyways.
it happened before the pass, then it's defensive hold.
yes, no,
I'm just
the pass was in the air, but it wasn't quite there yet. In terms of making that even
Well,
something that was legit.
That's the thing where I think Bo Nix is going to go to a next level next year. It's like,
Yeah.
hey, when you see somebody that intends to like jack with a receiver, you got nothing else, throw it his way just to see if that defensive back will interfere with him. That's what Brady did for years.
Oh, I know. Yes.
He goes, look, this dude feels like he's beat. He's gonna freaking tackle the wide receiver out there.
Yeah.
We're
No,
gonna get a holding call. We're gonna get offensive pass interference or defensive pass interference. That's the way Brady operates. In reality, think about that. I mean, I looked at a stat. When Tom Brady was with the Patriots, they had 140 defensive interference calls. 140.
Yeah.
In his tenure. Why? It's because I got nowhere else to go. Let me throw it somewhere near this guy, and hopefully the defensive back's gonna run into him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean,
well, we'll see if Bo can do that. I just was impressed, how many turnovers the Broncos got.
well, I was
Yeah.
impressed.
5.
I was
It
impressed
shouldn't even
with
have been
Bo.
that close.
I was impressed with Bo on 2 levels. One, somebody asked me, it's like, hey, you think Bo Nix developed? Fuck yeah, I think he developed. He learned how to run with the football and get down, not get himself hurt. He learned that it's not about a freaking home run ball every day.
Correct.
It's about completing passes, getting shit going down the road, because our defense is freaking amazing. I don't have to do that shit.
In some ways, I kind of disagree a little bit because I saw, from year 1 to year 2, Bo Nix had, again, I brought this up earlier, he had a lot more happy feet in games.
No.
And he has one of the best offensive lines. He has the best
Well,
defense. I
happy
consider
feet.
the best defense.
Happy feet are still there. They're still there. The thing is, what he does with his happy feet, I'm noticing he does this, then he does that. It's less of a happy feet because he's not dancing around going, oh, fuck, here comes a fucking rush. It's different happy feet. He's switching, and he's starting to learn progression. And That's amazing. And the one thing the Broncos need in this draft next year is a freaking, oh my God, receiver. And I think Bo will go this way. Two things that he's done better since last year. One, healthy. Two, he doesn't make stupid mistakes anymore. His completion percentage is way higher than it was last year. Hell, he's 70%.
Well,
You know what I mean?
I agree with you now, and I think because again, Sutton to me is kind of like Jacoby Myers, and I've been comparing the two guys like all year. When I thought the Raiders were going to re-sign Myers, I'm like, you got to look at Sutton's contract and just make it similar.
Jack, I'm pretty sure I told you that Jacoby Myers was not going to be a Raider.
Well, yeah, you did. But I'm saying when all this first came out, that's when I was comparing the two. So yes, a high-end number one would be great for Bo. But I also, if I'm the Denver Broncos, I'm kind of looking for a big mammoth nose tackle because that team is speed. They can also use a big mammoth nose tackle to clog up the middle.
They have it. He be back next year. Right,
Ooh.
Rich?
Which guy?
Not going to be Roethlisberger next year.
Oh no, he's coming back. That's the problem.
Well, he might be coming back,
problem.
but he's not going to be your center. I promise you that.
No, not center. I said a nose tackle.
Oh, nose
big
tackle.
mammoth nose tackle.
I got you. Okay, so Whataburger's actually played a lot better in recent weeks. I think.
Yes, Whataburger did.
Not getting a whole lot of freaking nose candy. You know what I mean? So I think he's doing okay. But I'm pretty sure you guys are going to draft a center, regardless of how the season goes.
No, they won't. I'll tell you, they just extended Wattenberg. They extended him 4 years.
He's a natural guard, though. What I'm saying is they're probably going to. So let me tell you something about this certain one dude. This center out of Wisconsin. Absolute freaking stud. Richie, I'm not even going to say the name. Not going to say nothing. There's this one dude out of Wisconsin. This center goes up the field, and you see him blocking for running backs 20 yards down the field. This dude is next level magic, and he's probably right in the Broncos' wheelhouse. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That's Bruno.
Yeah, I know. I like him a lot, actually. I do. I really like him. Like a lot, actually.
That dude is freaking mammoth.
I don't know if they'll go for him, though.
What do you need? Oh, I mean, what's your actual needs? So I'm sitting there thinking, I think you need you kind of have a wide receiver one, kind of.
No, we don't.
Right?
No, we don't.
You do need that somewhere, like some speed somewhere. But damn, having a freaking wrecking ball center would be wow. Even if it's the 32nd pick, which you guys could look, it is a good thing when you're picking 32nd. It is a good thing. It's a great thing,
Well, we'll see if they're going to pick 32nd or not.
Jack, when you're picking 32nd, guess what that means?
Well, that's what I mean. We'll see if they're going to be picking 32nd.
You won a Super Bowl. That's what that means.
Well, there's still one more game to be played. So, to get there, and then there's another game after that. So, there's 2 more games to go.
G fan throws it up.
G fam, what's up, bro?
There was something in the air that night. The stars were bright. Fernando, they were shining there. It was something in the air that night. The stars were bright. Fernando, they were shining there. It was something in the air that night. The stars were bright. Fernando, they were shining there. It was something in the air that night. The stars were bright. Fernando, they were shining there. It was something in the air that night. The stars were bright. Fernando, they were shining there. It was something in the air that night. The stars were bright. Fernando, they were shining there. It was something in the air that night. The stars were bright. Fernando, they were shining there. It was something in the air that night. The stars were bright. Fernando, they were shining there. It was something in the air that night. The stars were bright. Fernando, they were shining there. It was something in the air that night. The stars were bright. Fernando, they were shining there. It was something in the air that night. The stars were bright. Fernando, they were shining there. It was something in the air that night. The stars were bright For you and me, for liberty, Fernando.
Oh, love it, G-Fam. Poetry,
So-
bro.
So
G-Fam.
so
You threw out
Nav,
the freaking money on that.
yeah, I certainly picked up what he was putting down, but the long and the short of it is, I actually agree with you that may be what the long-term vision is. I have to
Yeah.
double check. One name to look at that the Broncos are likely going to want to move off of is Ben Powers.
Yeah.
And I need to see what his contract looks like if they move off of him.
We'll take him.
I mean, he's good but not great. You know what I mean? But nonetheless,
Okay.
like,
we need those.
yeah. Like, let's put it this way: you had bad but not awful, and good but not great is a tremendous upgrade.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like,
We'll take him.
yeah.
Send him over. What do you
Yeah.
need? Well, what do you
Yeah.
what do you have
Yeah.
for him?
So with regards to Ben Powers, I think
He's
he's a guy.
6'5", 320, isn't he?
He's somewhere in that range, yeah.
I mean, fuck, I'll take him.
Now, I do want to call out on the show. I just want to make sure I get his measurables correct. So if you just give me 1 sec, because it's important to make sure that you get the things correct in terms of what we're dealing with here. Frank Crum scored a touchdown for my Denver Broncos. He is 6'7", 320 pounds.
Sounds like Lucky Tossie to me.
Dude, don't get me started on Locky Toski. I love that kid. Okay, Richie, you ask and you should receive.
And Frank Crum, yes.
So you mentioned about Ben Powers. So 20, let's go 2026 here. So guaranteed money is 0. Cap number will be 18.1 excess and change million. That's pretty expensive.
No, it's not.
You're gone.
Yeah.
Dead money before
So
June
Jack,
1 would be about 9.7.
So
After June 1, 8.3.
It'd be a restructured contract. I mean, it would be. I
wouldn't even bring him back.
Right, it's a restructured contract. It would be more like 12.
No, but I wouldn't even bring him back. I would just kick him out the door and say, "We'll take the 18 mil savings."
But you can't.
Yes, you can.
No, not without a cap hit. You can't.
Yeah, $6 million. We took Russell Wilson's like $100 million cap hit. Like $8 million is like a rounding error.
Yeah, no shit.
That is so true, dude. That is funny shit nowadays.
Damn it.
You also have to remember you're dealing with a different ownership group too, right? Like it's a different dollar value.
Remember when I had stats on Jarrett Stidham? Remember?
Yes. Let's. Sorry, just one other thing, and then let's go into Stidham because that'll be relevant for our next game. Another few pieces here. RJ Harvey had a decent game, not a great game. We had some nice contributions from Jaleel McLaughlin early, Bo Nix, as well as Bidet. I do think if we're going to look ahead, since we were kind of making some of those comments, Jack, I've been saying this all season long for my Denver Broncos. A very high priority item for my Denver Broncos is going to be a 6'1", 240 pound competent runner and pass catcher combo at the running back position.
I know who that is.
Yeah, and we're gonna need a guy that is in that vein. They're going to need to run somewhere between a 4.5, 4.6 range to be good in Peyton's system. And there's a couple guys in the draft that are looking to fit that general mold, but the one thing you can see from my Denver Broncos is we're lacking that combination of size, speed, and aggression. And RJ Harvey is struggling to remain consistent running the football. And it is not a good look when Jaleel McLaughlin, an undrafted free agent, meant to be scat back, is looking to be better at reading a defensive line than a high round running back draft pick is. And I think that's a challenge that we're going to have to overcome it with my Denver Broncos. I do think RJ Harvey is going to get better. That's not meant to be a knock.
I agree.
do think he's going to improve, but nonetheless, that does not mean that Jaleel McLaughlin right now is not looking like a better pure runner of the football right now than RJ Harvey.
Well,
You know what?
I'll tell you this. If you want a freaking masher, or like running back, that dude is NIU, whether he has not decided whether he's going to go to the draft or not. His name's Jadon Black. That dude is a masher with a freaking huge freaking burst. Jadon Black is your guy.
Yeah.
Just saying. I use premier running back, not Hemby. Hemby is their only 4-star on the offense.
So I don't know Black. So who do you kind of comp him to, Nav?
Marshawn Lynch.
Oh, that's a pretty good comp.
That'd be my comp. I mean,
I know Richie likes that.
Freaking brutal runner. He never, ever freaking gets hit in the backfield and doesn't shake it. The dude is Jadon Black.
So
remember that name.
I have a comment, and then I want to hear your take on this, Nav, you specifically, and then let's move on to the Broncos game where we can talk about Stidham stats and stuff, because that's where it's very relevant.
And before you do that, I do have one comment for what we talked about earlier about Singleton. Yep. So, I mean, okay, you look at Singleton's game. I mean, what a game. 11 tackles, 3 assists, and a forced fumble. Don't tell me that boy ain't doing his job. So I'll just make it quick, simple. Let's move on. But just to support your take on that.
Yeah. So let's talk about. I want to talk about Cooks. Dalvin Cook for the Buffalo Bills. My controversial take on him.
James Cook.
Cook. He is a great running back, and he really is. He's obviously running very well overall. However, my controversial take on him is that he is not a guy that makes people miss. You don't often see him like shake off someone who has initially made contact with him. He's a guy
that's Zamir White.
Right.
But no, hold on. Don't put him in that category, though, Jack. The thing about James Cook is he goes to the hole he's assigned. And if you're going to try to tackle him with arms, that's not happening.
Correct.
However, if he gets met up, he's going to get tackled.
Correct. And that's kind of where I was getting at, is that the truly like next level style running backs, when they're met head on, they're able to kind of almost stop on a dime and like intentionally bounce back to avoid that initial tackle and spin out of it at least a reasonable percentage of the time. And you saw that with Cook against my Denver Broncos a fair amount, where when he hit the defenders, he was done.
Well, hey, look, let me tell you something. James Cook has freaking destroyed everybody all year long. But you have to admit, the defense you have is different.
It is different.
Okay? It's different. Okay? So you can't, like, summarily freaking just say James Cook can't do it. The dude is the number one in the NFL this year.
He is.
I mean, 24
Yes.
carries, 117 yards, 4.9 per carry. That's still pretty good against a Bronco defense. I'll say that.
Yes,
Correct.
that's pretty
it is.
damn good. But what I'm saying is he's been doing it to everyone. He's not your traditional. So that's Dalvin Cook's brother, right?
Yes.
So Dalvin Cook was similar to that, but he couldn't dance. Right? He was straight up field, like I'm just gonna run everybody over. Out of Florida State, I do believe. And but James Cook is different. He when he gets daylight, he pushes through the daylight and gets to his max speed as fast as he can. But if a linebacker gets him head up, he's going down. But if somebody puts arms on him, he's going to walk right through them.
Yeah.
That's what I've seen from the Bills.
Yeah.
That's why he is the top running back in the NFL this year.
He's also the top running back in the NFL because the Bills' offensive line is somewhere between massive and mammoth.
Yeah, it's like, but the thing is, they kind of suck. I don't know why Josh Allen has so much shit in his face all the time with the massive amount of offensive line he has. I don't know.
He doesn't have great wide receivers, so it takes time for to get them open.
No, it's why Josh Allen was crying. It's like, God damn, I can't fucking do shit.
Yes.
No, that's why I threw freaking 3 picks. You know, I had to do shit.
Yeah, he had to be the reason. He had to be the reason,
Josh Allen moves to another team at the end of this cycle. I mean, I think he's only under contract for 1 more year. Who the hell does he go to? Then what happens? I mean, it's McDermott's gone. So why would Josh want to even freaking continue to do that shit? He will be a commodity next year.
Yeah.
There's no question.
Yeah.
If I was Josh, I would be like, I'm not interested in an extension. Let's see what happens next year. That's what I would do if I was Josh. I'd be like, pretty sure somebody will take me, and not only take me, but
I'm pretty sure 29 somebodies would take him.
Yeah.
Like,
maybe even 30.
Maybe 30. Yeah. You're like, hey, Josh, what you doing, bro? I love you. Yeah. Fucking Stafford's done, so come on out to LA.
Yeah.
Right.
So, so with that transition there, let's go over and talk about Stidham. Get into those stats of yours. Because as we have alluded to on the show here, unfortunately, Bo Nix suffered a broken ankle in the win against the Bills. It occurred.
I thought there was a thing, but I wasn't sure.
When I rewatched that play, I was like, I know exactly what kind of I knew exactly what the break is. I suffered a worse break than him.
Was it radial fibula?
So he would have broken the large bone in the lower part of his ankle, and it would have happened.
Fibula, right?
It's the fibula, which is the large bone in the lower part of your leg.
Right.
That was the first bone in my leg that I broke when I was a little younger, and I had a compound spiral fracture that separated when I was playing rugby. My break was worse than his, but I know exactly what he's going through. And more importantly, if he didn't separate the bones and all they're doing is pinning it to try to heal it faster, which I think is what happened.
Yeah.
He'll be back he'll be back in 3 weeks.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, you're fine. Like, you're absolutely fine. If it separated on him, like the 2 bones, the 2 pieces, if they actually separated on him at all, then he's 5 or 6 weeks in terms of injury. So
which means Even if you go to the Super Bowl, he's not
He's
there.
gone. Correct. Exactly. Yes. You're picking up what I was putting down, Nev. So that's exactly it. There is talk already within Broncos country that I'm hearing from very reputable sources that Bo Nix, with the surgery that he had, the Broncos are expecting him to potentially be back for the Super Bowl if they make it.
Wow.
That tells me that it was a stress fracture.
Yes.
Freaking, all they're wanting to do is just freaking keeping those bones together so
Correct.
they can heal back to each other.
Correct. Exactly.
Look,
Yeah.
And the thing is, look, if you're in this position and you're at the Super Bowl, I don't give a fuck. If you're out there with crutches, I don't give a damn. But I'll tell you what, Jarrett Stidham is not a pussy. I'm just saying, guys. I was pissed with Jarrett that Jarrett Stidham didn't get an opportunity with the Raiders. I was upset because I'm like, this dude is here. You know, he can do shit. Do you want to know what he's done in his career?
Yeah,
let's
I
hear it.
do, because I have a good idea. So let's hear the actual stats. But yes, let's go.
Okay. In his career, 117 for 197, completion percentage 59.4, which is not crazy. It's not good. But it's okay. 1,422 yards. His average per play is 7.2. He has 8 touchdowns, 8 picks. So the thing about that, when you think of that stat, it's kind of like if you just say, "Hey, Stidham, let me tell you something. Make plays when you have to. Don't get stupid. You know, let's
manager.
Let's give that shit to freaking McLaughlin. Let's give that shit that, you know what I mean? Let's just think and dunk some shit, you know? Unless it gets stupid and you have to go win the game. And he has shown he can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Jack, you know that Stidham wins games that he shouldn't win games. I mean,
I'm not going to argue that. I mean, I was sad that the Raiders couldn't keep him, but I understand, you know, when you get it, that I said this, you know, in the pre-show, when you get a contract from Denver, you got 2 years, 10 million, and the Raiders are not looking at you as a starter, and they're not going to even match that. It makes perfect sense to go to the Broncos. And yeah, it was a loss. I liked him as a quarterback. So as a backup, I think he's a great backup to have.
Yeah, he's the second best QB2 in the league. AOC is the best QB2. No
Don't argue that either.
So there's somebody in the chat, Tin Man. Can you put that up? Don't care. He's not going to care if he breaks it again. That's the thing. He goes into the Super Bowl. He don't care if he breaks it again because he's going to have an entire off season to freaking get it fixed. Breaking a bone is not a problem. Tearing tendons is a problem.
Correct.
Tearing Achilles is a problem. Right. Breaking a bone is not a problem. So here's the thing. If he can go for the Super Bowl, he should go. And he will want to go. If Bo Nix is what the Broncos think he is, he's going to want to play. And I'll tell you what, you put his ass in there. You know what I mean? If Super
all
Bowl
the other players are going to rally up around that.
Yeah,
style.
Right.
Sure. Yeah.
Bo cannot get touched, is what that offensive line says. He cannot get touched. You know what I mean? He just can't. That's a team mentality where it's like this dude is risking it all. Because if he breaks it apart and tears a tendon, now we're on a whole new level for next year. Now what? But the thing is, you got Jarrett Stidham gets a freaking opportunity, for the next game. He's going to be ready to play if anything happens to Bo, if Bo's available for the Super Bowl. So he's going to be ready to go, right?
Yeah.
So, it's not.
I agree.
I'm not a Bronco lover. Trust me, I fucking hate you. but it's not the end of the world that Bo Nix is having surgery and all the shit. It's not the end of the world for you guys.
No, it's
your
not.
Defense is the reason you guys are where you are is because of your defense. Won't be the first time, won't be the last that a defensive team won a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
I will say this, based on what Nad even said,
it's okay to win with defense. I'm just saying.
Yeah, let's see how Cam Newton's doing after his attempt to win against the NFL's best defense.
Cam Newton freaking will never let that go. And the thing is, my wife's like, I'm really not liking him. I love this dude. And she's a Panthers fan, right?
I like Cam back in the early days, but
only reason she's a Panthers fan is because I'm sick of you jumping from the Bears to the Bengals or whatever. Hey, expansion draft. Here, coin. Jags or fucking Panthers. That's going to be your team, and you're going to stick with it. And she got Panthers. Congratulations on that coin flip, because that is the better side.
And wait, Nav and Richie. So, but Nav said, AOC 12 being number one, Stidham number two. They do similar stuff. Okay. They're game managers. So the question is, can you have a game manager when you're going for the AFC conference game to play for the Super Bowl? Which you could have worse guys do it, but it is definitely a drop off from Bo, and you're playing a very good team in the Patriots. And God, I don't want the Patriots to go. I don't want McShitnuts, to go to a Super Bowl and go, look, Raiders, you fired me as head coach. Guess what? I'm taking the team to the Super Bowl.
You do it as coordinator. Shut the fuck up. That's all I'd say to him.
Well, here's the deal, though, Jack. The Patriots have not played a defense with the type of pressure that the Broncos get on the quarterback. They just haven't.
No, nobody really does. Haven't. Your team is that good.
We are 10 to 11 sacks in the regular season higher than the next best team at the NFL, and we set a pace that hasn't been seen since the 85 Bears. And there was an argument to be made that the Broncos beat them in terms of pressures and other things as well. It's been rather remarkable this year, and there's been lots of
it's been way remarkable.
So I got a question. There's been lots of chatter about the Broncos defense, but there hasn't been the elevation of the pressure that the Broncos defense has been able to get that you would expect when you have basically set records for back-to-back sack records in the NFL in terms of.
That's what I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
Did they break the all-time sack record?
No,
we did not. We slowed down near the end. The Broncos defense slowed down a little bit as the season went on to the last little bit. We finished the regular season with 68 sacks on the year, and I think we needed 71. But
71 was the record.
Yeah, so we needed 72 to beat it. We finished the season with 68. But the point is that the Broncos have set a record that is above and beyond that, which is back-to-back years we have beaten like we've been atop of the sack record in the NFL in terms of by a large margin in terms of pressuring the quarterback and getting to the quarterback. And that is something that has not necessarily been done to the level that the Broncos have done it. Like last season and this season, we have been well above the second place team. This season was like 10 or 11. It was really, really interesting to see the sacks that the My Broncos were able to get in back-to-back seasons.
Turn them over and over.
Yeah,
It's like
it was crazy.
6, 7 sacks a game. It was,
I think this might be the first time in my life that I'm rooting for the Broncos because I fucking hate the Patriots.
Yes.
I fucking hate them.
For me, it's McShitnuts, dude. I can't stand McShitnuts.
I do not want them in the Super Bowl, but I will tell you what: if it's Patriots, Seahawks in the Super Bowl, the Patriots are going to get destroyed.
Right.
The Seahawks defense and the Broncos defense are very similar in that. The Seahawks don't have the back end defense that the Broncos do, but the Seahawks tend to get to the quarterback with 4 all day long. And I don't think the Patriots have the offensive line for that. I don't think the Patriots can deal with that shit.
No.
The difference is the Broncos is they're gonna have to do it a different way. And I think if Benito doesn't have a freaking class act, oh my God game, the Patriots can beat them. I don't think the quarterback's even an issue. Just Stidham is going to be a game manager. He's not going to be your game winner. So I will tell you this, the Broncos will have an easier freaking game in the Super Bowl versus the Seahawks than the Patriots would. They match up way better. Seahawks.
If Bo's playing.
No, I don't think so.
No, I think Stidham. So the one thing that a lot of people don't credit Stidham for versus Bo Nix, and then once I kind of finish this, I'd like to go into score predictions for the Broncos versus Patriots game. But the one thing that a lot of people don't give Stidham credit for that he brings an extra, we'll call it twist for the Broncos, is Bo Nix is very good in the short passing game. Like, I mean, excellent in the short passing game.
It can hurt you.
And no, but Bo Nix is also good at the deep ball because he's quite accurate in terms of how he throws it. The one thing that Stidham has that Bo Nix does not have very well is the intermediate part of the field in terms of the middle section.
He likes his tight ends. Trust me.
Correct. But that's exactly my point though, right? Which is Bo Nix is not very strong in that middle portion of the field, actually, for the reasons we were talking about earlier in the show. Stidham has much better footwork than Bo Nix does in terms of in the pocket, in terms of pocket awareness. And what that means is that you have more control over throwing the ball in that middle section of the field. And Stidham brings a different wrinkle to the Broncos offense in the fact that that middle portion of the field, that 5, 6, 7 yards, you gave a stat. The average play for Stidham is about 7 yards or so.
7.2.
Well, that tells you he's going intermediate. He's not going deep. He's going intermediate on a regular basis because in order to get an average of 7, that means you're going 8 and 9 yards in a fairly regular basis, and you're throwing deeper. So it's going to be very, very interesting, actually, with Stidham because tape for my Denver Broncos basically shows short passing game and long passing game, not very much in the middle. And so you don't have a lot of film to go off of in order to game plan. And Stidham is going to be a guy that's going to be able to open up the middle part of the field. So that's going to be a very interesting piece. So I want to actually close out with our roundtable score predictions for this game, Broncos versus Patriots. Jack, I'll start with you, get your feedback, and let's hear your score.
Okay. So, again, before the season started, I had a prediction. I had the Broncos going to the Super Bowl. And I pretty much picked them every single week this whole year. I think maybe once, maybe twice tops did I not pick the Broncos to win this game. I think a really interesting matchup is going to be Gonzalez from the Patriots versus, Sutton. I just wonder if he's going to stick on him the whole game. Gonzalez is a beast, and you're shutting down the best wide receiver, on the team. And I actually had Denver versus, the Eagles before the season started. And that's what I rolled with because the Eagles were dominant. They're Super Bowl champs. That offensive line was great. Defensive line was great. But, for this game here, just because Bo Nix is out, and I know they're playing up in Denver, and they're both cold weather teams. And I know when you're playing with that type of altitude and living in Colorado, it's definitely going to help Denver. The Pats right now are like a 5.5 favorite. And the way they're playing, it's been pretty damn impressive. I will say that. So I think this is like probably only the third time I'm going to predict the Broncos to lose. I got the Patriots, and I don't see it as a very high scoring game because of Denver's defense and Bo Nix not being in there and Stidham getting his first start. So I see the score being lower. So I got the Pats this week, 23-17, for their win. Sorry, Richie.
Huh.
All right. Nav, let's hear your score.
Weird. I have 24-17 Broncos.
Basically the opposite.
And here's why. Richie, is that a home game for the Broncos?
It is.
Huh. How about that? So 24-17, and Stidham throws for, 157 yards, 15 of 24. And McLaughlin and your boy, Harvey, gonna freaking take them apart. Their defense is gonna freaking kill Drake May. Drake May sits in the pocket for hours when he makes throws.
Yes.
That defense needs to be up the field on him constantly. Constantly. Let your freaking Surtain and all your dudes out there, Mims, all them motherfuckers, let them eat. There's a reason you have the top two corners in the fucking league. Let them eat. Just bring the freaking house. Stidham is not going to lose the game. He's not going to win it for you either, unless he has to. That's my thought process. The Broncos are moving on to the bowl. That's my pick, and I'm sticking to it.
So my sensible side to me here says the team is going to have to adjust to Stidham. There's going to be growing pains that are just simply going to be natural to occur. The fact that it had to occur this late in the season, et cetera, et cetera. Wide receivers are going to be used to catching balls from Bo, yada, 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 so on and so forth. Okay, cool. So if I'm going for my sensible side, I think this is going to be somewhere. I do have the Broncos still winning, but I think it's going to be like a 21-19 kind of game. Broncos win close again, that sort of thing. Now, that's not what my actual score prediction is, though.
What have the Broncos done all year?
They've won those. Yeah, they've won 21-19 or won like whatever. Right? Yeah. So yes. Like the sensible side of me is calling 21-19 Broncos win. The other side of me is actually looking at this from a different perspective. I think that this is a different sort of game, and I think Stidham has something to prove. This is the last year on Stidham's contract. He's
Right.
going to want to show that he deserves a starting position in the NFL. There are too many other teams out there that need starting quarterbacks, and he wants to be one of them. He has already said that, by the way, to be clear. He is salty that the Raiders didn't give him the opportunity, and
Yeah,
he wants and
and
he
I
wants
am, and I'm pissed
yeah,
about that.
right.
Trust
And
me,
so
I'm
and so
upset about
and so my prediction for the Denver Broncos game, the actual score prediction, is I think this is going to be a twofold game. I think this is going to be I think the defense is pissed off for Bo Nix. I think that the team is going to rally around Bo Nix in general. I think that the actual score in this game, I'm going to throw out my sensible side, that the side that would normally kind of say like stay a little bit more grounded and stop being an idiot. But I actually think that there's an X factor in this game when I'm looking at the bigger picture. I have this as a 31-23 game Broncos. And
Wow,
I'm
high
gonna
scoring.
yeah. And here's where I'm at, and this is
not
why.
actually a high score, to be honest
No,
with you.
no, it's not a high score, but it's higher than most people are predicting. So that's why I'm calling it out. And this is why I think it's right. Number one, Drake May holds onto the ball too long, and we have a way
Yep.
better secondary that they're used to playing, and we have a
Yep.
way better pass rush than they're used to playing. I predict that Drake May is going to get slaughtered.
Oh,
Like slaughtered.
I have 6
Slaughtered.
sacks.
Yeah.
That's my prediction. 6 sacks.
I
on
also
Drake.
think that Drake May is not used to guys like Bonito and Cooper,
No.
and he's who are like track stars basically on the defensive side of the ball. And I think that he's going to be surprised that Benito's going to be back there saying, "I'm right here for the ball, bro." Like,
Yeah.
like
The moment Benito does not rush the passer, he's going to get a pick.
yeah,
You know,
Okay,
it's one of those. You know,
Yeah.
Richie, I do have a question for you. Who oh no, is that the Bears? Who's their left guard or the left tackle for the Patriots? Didn't he come from the Chiefs?
yeah, it's Trent Green, ain't it?
Came
Is it
went for the
Trent Green?
Patriots.
isn't it Will? Is it Will Campbell?
Maybe I'm thinking the guy from the Bears then.
Will Campbell is their left tackle.
Okay, so he was a number 4
Yeah,
pick
Will
last year.
Campbell.
Also
Will
keep in
Campbell.
mind that Will Campbell just recently came back from an injury not that long ago, and again,
That was a back injury.
yes, and let's remember the Broncos have had, because of their persistent pressure, they have had several offensive linemen that they've gone up against get knocked out of the game because of the pressure and aggression that they are showing on the defensive side of the ball. This is also why Vance Joseph is looked at as a legitimate candidate for head coaching opportunities in the NFL this cycle.
Right.
Is that he is getting his defense playing at a level that is arguably historic, right? And so,
Right.
I do think that you're going to see a lot of pressure from my Broncos defense. I think you're going to see a lot of quarterback hits. I think that you're going to see what we saw with Josh Allen, which is with Drake May, by the way, like a transposing of what we saw with Josh Allen. Is that Drake May is
Yeah.
he's gonna feel pressured to have to do everything. He's going to feel pressured that his internal clock is being sped up. He's not used to having guys meeting him in the backfield as often. He's not used to getting hit as frequently, and that's going to mess with his head.
So there is that other guy as the right tackle on the Patriots. Okafor is a pretty damn good fucking tackle. Just saying.
Right, but so now
Most
here's
most of that pressure is going to come up the middle.
Right, but here's my question on this though, and this is an interesting one. How does Okafor do against guys that get off the ball at like point
Lightning
something?
speed.
Well, you don't have to mess with them. You just come up the middle. You pressure up the middle.
No, but my point is that if you Velociraptor on both of the tackles, and that they can't handle speed, and my two starting edges are number 1 and number 2 in terms of speed off the edge.
Yep.
Right, like pure speed,
No,
off
I'm
the
with
edge.
you. I'm with you 100%. But why would you? Because their weakness is in the interior offensive line.
No, but you kind of do that to basically sink Drake May. You do that because Drake May is going to expect nothing but pressure up the middle, and you just basically
young quarterbacks do not like freaking upfield pressure.
Nope.
They can step into freaking outside pressure. You know what I mean? If I was the Broncos coach, Sean Payton, by the way, I'd be like, dude, let's just take you guys and just freaking roll your ass, stunt your ass inside on pure passing. You know what I mean? Leave one on the outside to contain, but what do you do to need to freaking stunt inside?
Hey, I was gonna say, God, I'm like, we lost better than the Broncos.
I know what he's saying right here. To be honest with you,
there's actually a few things.
Okay, I like that. Week 1.
There's a few things the Raiders did better than the Broncos this year. I mean, you can hint at the fact that you beat the Patriots in the earlier part of the season, and you're hinting that we're going to lose this game. So it's like, hey, now what happened?
But that's one. But there's more.
But I think the Raiders in the earlier portion of the season were actually a very well balanced offensive team. In the early part of the NFL season, if you actually look at what you guys did, you were very balanced as an offense and showed that what you could look like if you had more competent coaching, et cetera, throughout the entirety of the season.
Better offensive line.
Well, you got to think of it in a certain perspective. The perspective is, how the fuck Geno 364 yards, 4 touchdowns against the Patriots that are going into the AFC Championship? What the fuck happened? Yeah.
Well, hey, Bob, because they didn't know they were bad yet. That's what I'm saying. They did not know they were bad yet.
I just don't know. It blows my mind. I'm like, wait, this is freaking cool. I like it. You know what I mean? Well, 364, 4 touchdowns, no picks.
Well, I'm just going to make a comment on. I'm going to make a comment on this. I'm going to make a comment on this as we close out the show here. The Broncos have lost their starting quarterback, but we have an incredibly competent backup compared to most teams, especially.
Look, dude, I am here to tell you, Richie, Bo Nix going down sucks, but I am here to tell you, Stidham is not a bad replacement.
No, he's not.
I agree.
And so I would pump the brakes on the fact that we've lost to the Patriots, because it is certainly not a done deal that we are going to lose to the Patriots. Now, if the Broncos do lose,
no, you're beating the Patriots. You have to do it.
Yeah.
The Raider Nation asks you, please, do not lose to the Patriots.
So I will
Speak
say
for
this.
yourself.
I will say this.
Get the fuck
I
out
think
of
the
here.
Broncos. I think.
Hey, I
think
love
the
you, no
Broncos have a good
shit, but
shot. Hey, I think the Broncos have a good shot in this game. I think that even with our backup quarterback, he is very good, if not like he's basically like the 31st or 30th best quarterback in the league, Stidham, in my opinion, in that kind of ballpark.
Yeah.
And that basically tells you that he's basically a starting caliber quarterback that has found himself to a backup role.
Same thing we talk about with AOC.
Yeah. Yes,
you know,
exactly.
he's right on the edge of being a starter.
Exactly. And so I think that the Broncos have found themselves in a good position given circumstance, and we will wait and see what happens. But my prediction holds true. I do believe that this is going to turn into a double-edged sword for the Patriots. I think that the Broncos defense is going to be something that they haven't faced before. They're not used to it. It's going to be hard to game plan against because they're well balanced in terms of the top to bottom, both the defensive front, the linebacking, and the defensive backs. They're just simply not used to dealing with a defense that is that well put together this season. And I think it's going to be a real problem for Drake May.
Okay, so I got a question for you. Richie, your entire defense is absolutely 100% healthy, right? I mean,
yes.
There is like 0 dudes injured.
Pretty much
Jones.
all the starters are.
Brendan Jones.
Okay, that's it?
So, my backup got a pick in the last game against the Bills.
Right. Beautiful thing.
So, look, I'm not saying that it is like the biggest problem, but I am saying that Brandon Jones is like upper echelon, like he's an upper tier safety, right? Like he's not, it's not like a small loss, right? So
I will tell you what, the Broncos' key to victory against the Patriots is first quarter, you fucking zero blitz him like the entire time. Make him uncomfortable. Even if he freaking beat you, don't care. Keep it going the entire first quarter. You know, I'm like, just bring it. Bring the freaking pain to him. Because I think Drake May is the dude that will bow down to that shit.
I agree. I don't think he has the clutch gene. I think that he is. Yeah, I think he folds like
bring that shit. Yeah. That defense needs to bring it to him every single play.
Yeah.
It's got to be 5 people rushing every single fucking play.
Yeah, and the Broncos do have to watch out for Stevens. He is a good running back, so.
Yeah, okay.
Man, man, he's good.
I'm just saying, it is the Broncos defense, though. I mean, for fuck's sake.
Man, I've been saying this the whole year. It's the best defense. I even said it was better than the Eagles. Pretty much the whole flipping year.
I mean, overall, it is the best defense in the NFL.
It is. I'm not going to argue that. I've been preaching that the whole year.
The thing about it is, you have your backup quarterback, so the defense needs to do more than they've already done. You know what I mean?
And I guess this is where we disagree. Like I said, Gonzalez against Sutton, Edge Gonzalez taking out the best wide receiver on the Broncos. And what we're going to disagree with right now is I think Spillane is still that type of player.
To me,
he's good.
Sutton's not their wide receiver one.
Who's their number one? You think it's Mims?
I think Mims is actually the freaking target because Sutton's going to get double.
I don't think you're going to have to double Sutton. I think they're going to put Gonzalez on him.
No, they're going to double him. Gonzalez is
if they double him, then they're going to put Gonzalez on Mims.
Okay, great.
No,
then we throw it Sutton. You know what I mean? I mean, it's beautiful.
No, that's not it at all. I think you're going to see Sutton get double teamed, but then I think the Broncos are going to then shift to the death by 1,000 paper cuts. And so what you're going to end up right. Well, no, you're not going to go running. I think what they're going to do is use the RJ Harvey dump pass, and that'll gash him for 7, 8, 9, 10, 12.
Or McLaughlin. McLaughlin
exactly. Yes.
Get the ball in the open field.
Yes.
It's fucking, oh my God.
Yes.
Don't.
Yeah.
And again, this is where I'm going to argue with both you guys. If Spillane's covering, then I think he's going to do well against those guys.
Spillane
I actually
hold on.
I actually think that you're going to see some interesting pieces. So Sean Payton is an aggressive play caller of the football overall, but he also assesses the defense based on his first 15 plays. he basically assesses the defense based on the first 15 to 20 plays, which he calls intentionally. Now, as a Broncos fan, I'm not going to lie. The first 15 plays piss me off most of the time because they don't work. Like, they don't actually get home, but they actually inform the offensive play calling for the rest of the game for Sean Payton. And so what they do is they set up future plays as the game goes on, and it's basically just a chess match at that point. So I think what you're going to end up seeing is you're going to see if we can get home on the early stage of the game and maybe get to 7 or 10 points and maybe be like 10-3 or something like that. I think you're going to see Sean Payton then start to really grind down the Patriots with the run game, and then the extension of the run game, which is going to be the RJ Harvey, the McLaughlin, Batty or Bidet, as he likes to be called, whatever, is also a very great. He's an excellent pass catcher of the football. He is an equivalent to RJ Harvey in terms of catchability, in terms of hands, and Bidet is a much better pass protector than both McLaughlin and Harvey. So you're going to see some really, really interesting things out of the running backs in this game as well. Guys, one last thing before we close out the show.
I got told to shut up, just so you know.
Yeah, I saw. Let's simmer down, folks. I don't know which channel you're coming through on, but I rather like Navman. He has some very interesting takes and comes with stats and information. As far as Raiders fans go, he's within the upper echelon for sure. Trust me, there is way worse.
I think.
Well, no, you're in the upper tier of Raiders fans where you're not a complete
I only
homer.
speak facts. Yeah, that's all.
Yeah. So when we go ahead and look at some of the guys that the Broncos have brought back, the Broncos have A.T. Perry, who's an interesting wide receiver. He's a tall, fast wideout who we could throw into the mix here to kind of tip the scales in our favor. We also have Michael Bandy, who is a quick, shifty, but decently sized wide receiver who is a bit of a Marvin Mims proxy in terms of size and speed. And we also brought back a guy by the name of Brandon. He's going to come back, and he is a legit wide receiver. He bounced around the league, but he best fits in with the Denver Broncos. And part of the reason for that is he does a lot of the dirty work on the wide receiver position. He is a good alternative to someone like a Pat Bryant. Catches those kind of dirty balls, those ones that are kind of like the rough catches and the contested catches, that sort of thing. Every team needs one of those guys, and he is definitely someone that you can look out for to potentially step in and perform those types of plays. So I would not be surprised if he gets elevated for this game, because we brought him in just today, actually signed him to the team, and he will likely either be called up or will probably play. And also remember, Pat Bryant got hurt in the last game, and Troy Franklin got hurt in the last game with a soft tissue injury. So I would not be surprised if one or both of those wideouts are gone. So we're going to be elevating at least 2 wide receivers from the practice squad for this coming game. So keep that in mind. So
right.
So with that in mind, guys, we should probably end the show on that note. I want to thank everyone for joining the show. We've all given our score predictions. We've gotten kind of the Broncos general feel on the game here. If you have questions, disagree with my takes, happy to justify them to you on X if you so choose. My handle is down below.
Hey, Richie?
Yes.
Sorry to jump in, but I just want to thank you for doing, for the, couple years that we've been doing this. And Nav, thank you for taking over. It's been wonderful. I've had a great time doing this. Woo! Fuck you, Nav. But I'm leaving you with a good replacement. But I love this guy right here. So it's been a great time. So I just want to thank everyone and all the fans and everyone else. So I appreciate it. And, I'll never forget, the first time coming on, doing the Jim Otto tribute after he passed away. So
Yeah.
Thank you for that, Richie.
There,
That
there's,
was
Appreciate it.
amazing, bro.
there's a few players that are critical to each team. Jim Otto is definitely the one for the Raiders there.
Yep.
But with that in mind, do you want to thank Jack for joining the show? He is now leaving. He will likely be a fan favorite in the chat. He always is. And we will work with him in that way. Nav will be taking over for the Raiders on the show and the Raiders content. But ladies and gentlemen, until next week, where the West Side is the best side, we will touch base and see how my Denver Broncos do in the playoffs. Thank you
Hey,
very much.
Rich,
Yep.
before you go, do not let the fucking Patriots get in that goddamn game. Do not. You need to represent the fucking West. Do not let those Patriots in a bowl. Do
I
not.
agree. I agree.
I'm sick of them dudes.
I agree.
Sick of them. Don't do it.
I agree. Ladies and gentlemen, until next time, peace.
Fast lane when I pass in the street, bag of money in the passenger seat. Simcoe's been asking for me on the road from the west to the east.